I think we're going to see a lot more of this choppiness. I don't think there's going to be any compelling reason for growth to take off or, in consequence, then financial markets. Nor do I think, barring anything very unusual, that we're going to be in for another 2008, 2009. I don't forecast that either. We're in for a long haul because we have a lot of macroeconomic imbalance overhang from 20, 30 years of buildup of instability. Excess debt, excess reliance on foreign debt. All of this is not a story about subprime lending and any of that stuff. That all played a role and eventually brought an end to a much longer growing imbalance. That imbalance is going to have to come back in line. That's going to take perhaps 7 to 10 years, in which case we're only halfway through that process. And so the growth in the United States is going to be constrained as we work through this. On the political side, some of the volatility has come from the fact that businesses and investors are unbelievably unsure of what's the kind of near to medium term political roadmap. I mean, what are we going to be doing from an economic policy standpoint? So, we've had some very aggressive policy moves from Obama on healthcare and financial regulation and the like, which sort of generated very significant reactions among the business community. And then we may find ourselves now 3-4 years later with all of that financial regulation being largely irrelevant and the healthcare plan being thrown out. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's a tremendous amount of uncertainty in terms of what businesses are on the hook for example. If it's going to be a close race, that's going to create more volatility because we're not going to be sure what's going to happen. On the back end, I hope there's some clarity in terms of what the mandate is from the American people, and in either direction, markets like a bit of clarity. Even if they don't like what the exact policy is going to be, they like to know what it's going to be. Right now, we don't know what it's going to be at all. There's zero risk of the United States becoming Greece in the next several years, but that doesn't mean that isn't a very real possibility over a longer horizon, because the kinds of macroeconomic imbalances, particularly at the federal level, are real. And we are promising ourselves way more than we seem to be willing to deliver, and it's being financed by debt right now. And that's not a permanent state of the world. That requires somebody lending to you. And you can make harder decisions now to rein that in, or you can wait for the international credit community to make that decision for you. I don't think we want to have a situation where the government is going to roll in and start massively increasing taxes and massively cutting expenditures right now. Medium to long term, the government is going to have to do both, regardless of what the Republicans or the Democrats say. We're going to have to increase taxes and we're going to have to cut spending. But if we start doing that too aggressively right now, we will engineer another recession. That's the dilemma we're in right now. It's sort of an acknowledgement of the long-run challenges that we have to confront. At the same time, the private sector is in the process of working through this, but not ready to absorb massive, massive fiscal changes that will, for sure, push us back into another recession.